We're joined by Elon sophomore guard Hunter McIntosh. Hunter with a team high 19 points for Elon tonight. Hunter, obviously a tough way for the season to end, but just talk about the game and give us your impressions.
Yeah, the fight, down the stretch, I think that's just, what I'm gonna take with us the most. We definitely had a good run in the tournament and a strong in the season. Unfortunately, we weren't be able to pull out this last one, but I just want to give credit to our seniors, Simon Wright, Ikenna and Duba, just their leadership, their fight, their attitude on a daily basis. It was just special to be with, and I'm just blessed to be able to play with special players like that.
So questions from Taylor Durham. Go ahead, Taylor.
Mac, let's start with the fact that the Phoenix have now won 5 out of their last 7 ball games in conference tournament play. What is it about conference tournaments that brings out the best in this ball club, really once the calendar moves to February?
I think our coaching staff, does a great job preparing us, for end of the season. Obviously, during the middle season and, towards the beginning a little bit, we had some pauses, some interruptions, and, that kind of messes up our flow and our rhythm. But, late January, February, we were able to play, consecutive games, consecutive practices. And I think that's where we just really gelled, and caught a rhythm. So, towards the end of the season, I think that's, one, just being able to play games consecutively, but, also our coaching staffs, definitely it's an emphasis, when that calendar starts getting to late January, February, March, that's when it counts, when it matters. So it's just, a heavier emphasis, later in the season to win games.
Coach talked about the impact you had last year in helping Marcus. Let me kind of flash forward here 12 months. How much does a guy like Darius and a guy like Ikenna help you?
They've been instrumental. They've just been so great. I love playing with them. They just bring a new energy, to our team, an energy that, kind of we didn't have in the past. But they've been special. They've been in the gym all season, some of the hardest workers on our team. And, just being able to seeing their growth, Darius is a freshman, Ike as a grad transfer, just meshing with our team and our guys, it's been great to see. But, I give credit to them. They work so hard, and I feel like, when we play together, our games complement each other. So I think we definitely had a good connection on the floor.
Buddy, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next question from Shane Ellen. Go ahead, Shane.
Sorry, struggled to get unmuted there. Hunter, yeah, how difficult was it just to play a 4th game in 4 days? It seems like you guys were doing a lot of the same things you were doing before, but maybe leaving some shots short, struggling at the free throw line a little bit late. Was that, part of the factor in, the difference today?
Our goal all season, trying to finish top 6. Last season, those 4 games, 4 days, we made it to the semis, and we thought fatigue caught in. Unfortunately, this season, we missed some games, so we might not have had a chance to get top 6, especially how we were playing at the end of the season. But it's a championship game. You can't think that fatigue and stuff's going to set in, which it probably does. But at the end of the day, it's a championship game. It's potentially your last game of the season, so you just got to leave it all out there. You can't be really focused on stuff like that. But it's 4 games, 4 days, so I'm not going to say it didn't affect us, but that can't be an excuse for us.
Thank you, Hunter.
Next question, Jerry Beach. Go ahead, Jerry.
Hey, Hunter. Been asking the guys as the tournament goes on, can you kind of describe, what it was like playing this season, the challenges that came with it, physically, obviously, as well as mentally and emotionally, and just can people who didn't play or coach a basketball season this year, can they understand what went into it?
I think, every team, every situation was different. I saw some stat like the CAA played, the least amount of games or whatever in the conference. So I know the CAA, definitely has some struggles, with pauses and interruptions and stuff. But there's definitely challenges that come with it. Our coaches, staff, and, a lot of players, we always just try to keep a positive mindset. We just try to not look like what we can't do, but, just be, grateful, and blessed and try to just keep each other healthy and safe, throughout the season. I think that's just a new factor that wasn't really, considered in the past, before COVID. But it's definitely challenges, but I think our team weathered a lot of storms, if you would have teams, mid-January, early February that, we'd be in the conference championship, I don't think, they would have taken. So I think that's a credit to our staff, and the rest of the guys are fight and resilience to just overcome stuff like that. Don't let it phase us. Just next one. What can we do next? Don't focus on the challenges we have. Just how we're going to overcome them.
Whoever from CBS 3, can you mute your line, please? CBS 3, can you mute your line, please?
Hola, guapa. ¿Cómo estás? Bien, gracias. Mañana tengo mi segundo clase de español. Sí.
Sorry about that. Next question, Kyle. Kenzie, go ahead, Kyle.
Hunter, you just touched on something a little bit, focusing on what's next. And, obviously you don't want to start immediately, or probably haven't really had a chance to start thinking about what's ahead too much right now. But I mean, last year, 2 wins in the tournament, this year, 3. How much do you guys kind of feel like you're building something really special with how much success you've had in March now in back-to-back years?
We definitely had, success in March, and, that's just a credit to our coaches, our players, and our preparation going to the tournament. But, we definitely know we have something special at Elon. We know that, we're building toward, building a program that's, every year competing for conference tournaments, NCAA berths. And, I think we made a step this season, it showed growth from last season to this season. So, just going forward, we'll just try to build on that.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Hunter? All right, Hunter, thank you.
Thank you.
Joined by Elon head coach Mike Stragi. And Mike, quite an effort your team put up today, but came up a little short. Just give me your impressions on the game.
Yeah, first of all, congratulations to Drexel and Zach Spiker. I know they haven't been in the NCAA tournament in a minute. It's a special, time for them. And I got a lot of respect for Zach, like all the coaches in our conference. Zach and I talked a lot here down the stretch, trying to schedule games. And I thought they were the other team that was really in a rhythm. And, the 2 teams that, if you look at all the stats, the best defensive teams end up playing in the championship. And there's something to be said about that. Defense wins, rebounding wins. And I just thought they made more plays. I thought they had some key shots, like Walton's 2 threes, where, we were having a hard time scoring anyways. And all of a sudden those kind of shots go in, counts a little bit more than the 3 points. They had some guys step up. I thought we did a great job on Winter and Butler. And to their credit, Xavier Bell is a freshman. And Okros's threes, although it's just a 2-possession game at half, his 4 threes, and 3 of them were in the first half, really hurt us. So I give him a credit for stepping up and making those shots. But just so proud of our guys. It wasn't even a month ago, and we were in Charleston, and, we lost that first game pretty handily, and we turned the page to the next game. And they've taken us on a tremendous ride. I told the guys, whatever our losing streak was, whatever we went through this year with injuries and interruptions, they kept us positive. They kept us believing. It was a 2-way street. We felt like we tried to do that with them, but they did with us. They just came to work every day, and they loved the gym, loved the process, and believe at the highest level. They're so genuine. And I think, things turn and things improve and things get better when you care for your teammates. When you are a great teammate, you care about everything you do and you represent, especially a special school like Elon. And I thought that's why we turned it this year, because of the kind of players, but the kind of people we have in our locker room. So just proud of them.
First question, Taylor Durham. Go ahead, Taylor.
Coach, let's start with the beginning of the ball game. Phoenix got out to the 17-9 start. What did you like about the 4th game in 4 days and the way that your ball club responded in the opening 10 minutes?
Yeah, we said that was important. You know, we've been starting games really strong. Maybe yesterday not as strong as we have been, but still, I thought we had the lead at the first round. And you know, again, we talked a lot about just setting the tone. You know, trying to set the tone, and you know, it's everybody knows no team has ever won 4 games to win the championship. They never heard that from my mouth, but I thought it was really important that we come out and build a lead, build some momentum, so our guys sense that and see that, and kind of go from there. But our guys are ready; they always are, and I was really satisfied, of course, with the start.
You held Butler and Winter to 15 between them, and they came in averaging 31. What did you like defensively? Because you also had 10 steals on the night.
Yeah. Again, like I mentioned last night to those who are listening, I kind of, I think it's all defensive team. I understand, and everyone saw them during the season. We didn't play everybody, or we didn't play a ton of games, but come on, he showed again tonight. He absolutely was a first team all defensive performer. He took on the challenge of the number one guy on the other team. Cameron Winter's a great player, first team performer overall, and made it probably one of his toughest nights of the season. He's been doing that all year. Like, our growth defensively this year as a team has been a large part to him and taking on that assignment. And yeah, we did the job. Option 1A and 1B with them is certainly Winter and Butler, but they're a rhythm team. They have a good scheme. They depend on one another. And they have guys who step up. Okro's hitting those shots, and Dell, as a freshman, making some plays, making some key shots. In a moment like this, for them to step up and do that, it speaks to who they are.
One final question. Is it easy to put into words yet, Simon Wright and Ikenna, with regards to what they've meant as a senior duo?
Yeah, it's such an interesting time, right? For seniors. And I'm just proud of Simon. I've been lucky to be around a lot of special seniors who it's hard to finish your career the right way. It's hard to be playing your best when it matters most. Like, there's a lot on your mind always. What's next? But this year more than ever, maybe, with the pandemic and everything else that's going on, and for him to play his best basketball here down the stretch just speaks to who he is. I mean, the moment I arrived and I had Simon Wright, I'm like, man, I'm blessed. I'm lucky. This guy is every rep, every drill, every day. I was like, we can build off of this guy, so
Yeah.
He's left an amazing imprint on our program. And I told our seniors, I'm just excited to get together with them later this week and talk about what's next. And then Ikenna obviously was an amazing addition. Our growth was in large part because of his growth. Certainly I talked about the defensive end already, but offensively too. We decided to play those 3 guards together. They made a lot of things happen for us. And he's a warrior. He eats up the game. He loves it. He's had an amazing imprint on our program in just 1 year's time as well. So I think the world of those guys. You heard from Hunter McIntosh how he feels about them, and I'm just proud of him.
Coach, thank you.
Yep. Thanks, Stevie.
Next question for Shane Metlin. Go ahead, Shane.
Yeah, Mike. I'm playing the role of Adam Smith today, but you guys were making the same kind of hustle plays we've seen you guys make all year, but it seemed like maybe the legs were a little tired on the shots and stuff. Did playing the extra day, how much difference did that make today, do you think?
It does to some extent. It certainly does. I saw our guys hunched over. I hadn't seen our guys hunched over in a minute. We didn't talk about it. We didn't allude to it. We didn't want to say, hey, we'll be the first team to win the tournament, 4 games in 4 days. Like, we didn't want them to even think along those lines. We got really tough guys. If you watch us play, you know that. And I thought last year we learned in day 3, just the fatigue factor. And today we saw it more, and we really grew in terms of day 3 this year. If you watched yesterday, we didn't let us impact us one bit, but day 4 kind of got us. This year it did. But you won't hear that from our guys. You won't hear that from us, but it's hard. There's a reason why no one's won the 4 games in 4 days. It's tougher. And that was one of our goals early in the year was, hey, let's try to finish top 6. Let's learn our lesson from last year. And I thought we ran out of time to do that. And obviously we got off to a slow start in conference, but we kind of ran out of time to try to finish in that top 6. It helps. It definitely helps. But our guys are fighters, man. I'll roll with those guys anytime. And they left all on the floor. You could tell at the end. There's no ever quit or stopping. They're not even asking, should we be pressed? They're pressing themselves because they believe. They believe, hey, we can always make a comeback and finish the game the right way.
Thank you.
Yep. Thanks, Shane.
Next question, Austin. Go ahead, Austin.
Head coach Mike Schrage from the media room.
Go ahead, Austin.
Mike, what challenges did Drexel's defense kind of give you on the 3-point line?
They always defend the three really well. They did last year. That's part of their scheme. They make it harder to run our offense. James Madison did the other day too, to be honest, and that's where we just opened up the floor. We got those 3 guards. We got some potential mismatches at some other positions, but we finally did that in the second half as we were realizing, hey, it's going to be tough for us just to run our offense. It was a really physical game. It was a man's game. They weren't calling much at all, and you know, they're really physical. Like they've got great size. They got great physicality. And I was concerned going into this game, you know, 4 games in 4 days, like, all right. And then on top of it, we've got to contend with who they are. I knew it could be draining for our guys, but even last year, I thought they were one of the better defensive teams in our conference. They just grind. I give Zach and his staff and those guys a lot of credit. They just grind you out on that end of the floor and have an effective scheme.
Thanks, Mike.
Yep. Thank you.
Next question is Jerry Beach. Go ahead, Jerry.
Hey, Mike. Mike Fairley was saying last night that this is a zero-sum game. You live 365 days for tonight. And if you don't win, you know, you feel pretty terrible. Given what you guys did to get to tonight, you know, is that how you're feeling, or can you appreciate in the moment the journey you guys went on, not just these 4 days, but the last 4, 5, 6 weeks?
I think it's hard tonight. It's hard. I mean, you're this close to achieving the ultimate goal, right? And the guys felt like we could do it. And it's not like it wasn't a game where we weren't in striking distance the whole time. So it's hard right now. I just told the guys in the locker room, proud of them. I mean, again, they've taken us on an amazing journey this year. Nobody, except maybe who was inside our locker room, ever would have thought that we could achieve this if you were watching us in late January and early February. And they just stayed believing and stayed working. And we will, like, soon enough, like later this week when we get back together, we'll be able to appreciate it. But tonight it's just too close and too tough for the guys, to be honest.
And I've been asking the guys as the tournament goes on, can you kind of describe the mental and physical toll a season like this took on everybody? And can anybody who didn't play or coach a Division I program this year understand what went into playing and coaching this season? And thanks for your time.
Sure. Come on, Jerry. Appreciate you. Yeah, it's probably hard if you haven't lived it. I mean, just the amount of sacrifice these guys are doing and the testing, and you know, it's just not a normal year for anybody. Don't get me wrong, but for a college basketball player, and you know, Elon's done a great job of supporting us. You know, kind of pulling off the school year as best they can, and for our guys to sacrifice through that, like our interruptions earlier, our pauses were from the holidays. I think I mentioned that before. You know, I was going to let those guys go home. It was important, you know, for them to do that. It happened after Thanksgiving, it happened after Christmas. But while our students have been here, we haven't had a positive. They've been sacrificed at the highest level, and I appreciate about them. But it's hard. You know, it's hard. It's we got several freshmen obviously play for us, and you know, it hasn't been a freshman year that they expect just to have a campus life, and even the time we can spend together, we spend it in our locker room and our gym, but it's been, you know, we can't have our guys to the house. You know, like we're big into that. When we talk family, we mean it. It's been so unique. Hopefully we can get past this here soon and just operate the way that we like to operate as a really family team and environment. But yeah, it's hard. I think if you haven't lived it, it's hard. And it's been hard for us. It's been much harder, you know, for the student athletes. And I just hope that we can get back to hopefully a normal season or a more normal season next year.
All right, 2 more. Dan Crane, go ahead.
Hi, Coach. You guys obviously didn't have many home opportunities this year in conference play, and that may have affected your seeding in the tournament. I guess my question would be, how much of an effect do you believe that had on having to play 4 games in 4 days, and kind of where you ended up here today?
Not having the home games.
Yep.
Didn't help. You know, home still helps. I mean, you know, I don't know. Very few teams in our conference had any kind of crowd. So we were willing to play anywhere, anytime, you know. But yeah, it helps to play at home. that's the place you're practicing every day. And but Drexel was in the same position. They probably would have finished higher too, right? You know, if they had more home games as well at the DAC. But I think everyone this year just had to embrace the opportunities you had to play and compete. And the guys wanted to, and they sacrificed in order to do so. And you know, the guys will hear. We talked all year, like, hey, whenever we can schedule a game, let's do it. You know, as long as we're giving the guys the right time and space to recover. And we had our share of injuries where our antenna was really up, you know, for that as well. But it would help to have more home games, but it is what it is. You know, I think this year everyone just had to embrace the opportunities that they did get.
Last question from Kyle Kensing. Go ahead, Kyle.
Coach, when you've talked about the Team 108 moniker and each team kind of having its own individual identity to a certain extent, what's the one way that you think best describes what Team 108 was all about?
Yeah, I appreciate you asking that. First of all, enduring this year like all teams did, you know, enduring through the pandemic and the limitations and everything we had to go through. But it was the next step, and probably a lot of people didn't think we'd be able to make a next step, like I said, back in January and early February. But we were going to be proud of our guys regardless of results. We felt like we were competing, we were getting better, and fortunately it turned where we started to win. But resiliency, they're a really resilient group. Obviously, if you look at it, we made another step in the conference tournament, and I told the guys, like, I've been doing this for a minute. We got some guys on our program that are transfers from other places. We got older guys. It's tough to get to this point. It's really tough. And I wanted them to cherish it. But they'll be remembered for playing their best basketball in February and March. And that's what our program is going to be built on. And whatever we need to do to set up our team with again, big phrase we use, unconditional energy, is let's just get these guys to be playing their best. Whatever we do at this level, whatever teams we got scheduled to make us better, but in February and March, you got to be playing your best, especially at this level. And I think for 2 years we've done that, and we got to really strive to do it going forward.
All right. Thanks very much, Mike.
Yep. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.